Wow, I wasn't expecting this video to get the attention it got. Like, I was expecting maybe 100 to 1K at best. But damn! Thank you for the support, it genuinely means a lot. Now we're doing round 2, Electric Boogaloo! Woo! In case you're unaware, I made a video talking about why I'm excited for Cookie Run Tower of Adventures, and the game has been released. So I thought it was fitting enough to make a follow-up video, and I am happy to say, this game is so much fun, holy shit. Honestly, I find this way more fun than any of the other games could possibly ever be. The gameplay, the cookies, the design, the challenges, everything about it just works so well. Enough dilly-dally, let's jump right into it. Starting with... As a beta tester, I was quite familiar with most of the mechanics in the game, especially with the gameplay. And because of that, it was pretty easy for me to progress really quickly. There is so much to say that I don't know where to begin, so let me talk about the story mode. And yes, I will be talking about the changes that were made from the beta. There is a total of 7 worlds to explore. The forest, 2 of the Wild West, 2 of the caves, and 2 of the jungles. The Wild West immediately sticks out like a sore thumb, especially if you're a beta tester, because it wasn't in the beta. And because of it, I accidentally referred to Chapter 2 as the caves instead of the Wild West. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but honestly I don't mind. There was also another floor added, being the Banana Ruins. I'm surprised I actually remembered the floor name, goddamn. Personally, I really do like all these new additions. They definitely made the game more thrilling, especially since I didn't know what to expect. Also, in case you're wondering, yes, I indeed 3-star every single level. I am not joking. Even in hard mode! And you want to know the crazy thing? I actually never played hard mode during the beta, so this was kind of funny. All the levels in the game were still the same in my eyes, and I really did have fun. Sure, there were some levels that I struggled with, but for the most part, they were relatively easy for me. Hell, some levels that I wasn't able to 3-star in the beta, I was able to do in the final game. Like the one with the Rollaroos, the fucking lasers, this sniper motherfucker. I actually managed to do quite easily, except for 7-14. God, that level can burn in hell. I really had fun, although I do want to say there was one level that felt missing, and I believe it was in the Banana Jungle. This one where I got stuck in. I do not remember playing this one. I might have to double check on that. I also really love how some of the levels are just puzzles or challenges and not fighting. I remember playing in the Banana Ruins this puzzle thing. I do not know why it was there, but I had a blast trying to figure out which button does which. Oh yeah, how could I forget about the boss battles? Oh joy, I had a fun with all these. The flowers were fun, the bat was fun. I hate the bootleg Sugar Glass Pet one, fuck you. BananaCon was also fun, and also the 2 other bosses I never played in the beta. Those being Cactor and Shamonkey. Oh, and how can we forget about Frank the Flaming Chef? Hey, I said it correctly this time. Yippee! Moving on from story mode, we have Raid, and honestly, I really did enjoy it. Although I am not going to lie, I do have a problem with the reward system, which I'll get into later. But for the most part, it was relatively fun, especially if you're playing with friends. Trust me, you want to get a group of friends in that. It's so much fun. Look at how cool we all are. Not much has changed about Raid. This also goes for the seasoning dungeons. It was literally the exact same thing, so... the Glass Labyrinth, yeah! Honestly, there's not much I can say about it that I didn't mention in my previous video. The point system is a little annoying, I will be honest, but hey, at least you get a participation grade, so... And also, Sugar Glass Cookie makes an appearance in here. Oh my fucking god! And I'm willing to bet that this is amber sugar as well. Again, you cannot separate the amber glass. It was a pleasant surprise, and I'm happy it's here. Lastly, there is one more game mode that wasn't in the beta, and that's Tower Rift. Tower Rift is basically where you go into an environment, beat up enemies, and get random loot, I guess. Mainly equipment and sugar. Yeah, I totally meant sugar. Honestly, Tower Rift is a pretty good place to get resources, except for coins and crystals. I am not going to lie, it's actually kind of hard to farm crystals in this game. Even with the Tower Pass, I still find myself struggling to get more. And don't get me started with the coins. Holy shit! It is so hard to get coins, and also everything is ridiculously expensive when you start getting into like the 50s, like holy shit! However, we were given an explanation on why everything's so fucking expensive. The reason why is because they don't want players to progress way too quickly, otherwise there's no reason to pick up the game, which I will be honest, that's actually really smart. Is it annoying? Yes. But it's understandable. I mean, how else they're gonna keep the game alive? That's all I can say about the gameplay for now. I did find the game very enjoyable. However, it isn't perfect. There are a lot of bugs and glitches, and you know what? Let's talk about those. I will be honest, I don't have much to say about the bugs and glitches. My tablet is able to handle most of the game, and my phone especially can handle it the best. Keep in mind that my phone is able to handle Kingdom without crashing. So instead, I brought a friend here to talk about the bugs and glitches. Because out of my friend group, he had to deal with the worst of it. Take it away, Zeldos.
Okay, so Cookie Run, Tower of Adventures glitches. So, out of the group, including Volapin picked me from the four of us to talk about said glitches. Because, well, you see, I face the most bugs and glitches out of any of us, and I'll tell you why. Or more like I can try and explain it, because some bugs, or just the glitching was bad for some people, and sometimes it wasn't for others. Like, the glitching is just, it varies, it doesn't really matter who it is, it can happen to anybody, and it can happen to nobody. It's just random, really. I don't really know the reason why the bugs and glitches happen so randomly, and not to everyone. Okay, so let's get more into why it was bad for me. So I pre-registered Tower of Adventures and got to play it on launch. And when I tell you, I could not get past Frank the Flaming Chef, I mean it. I think someone in the Cookie Run Toa Discord server pointed out there was like 6 to 5 glitches or bugs in the area. And for me, it was the boss. The boss I couldn't get past because there's a constant screen freezing and I could never get past him. It took me 2 days to figure out, oh, maybe instead of doing it on my iPad, let's try it on my phone. And thankfully my phone was able to get past the constant glitching that was the screen freezing. But I was finally able to get past Frank after I finally went over to my phone. But that's not where the screen freezing stops. It didn't stop. So with the raid glitches, it's still very much a problem. I've been playing since Barb and Corn and up to Banana Kong. Also, can I just say that Florets just looks so scrumptious. I want to eat it. It looks like hard candy and I want to eat it. But anyway, there is still a main problem the game keeps facing. The three I'm mainly seeing is that the game keeps freezing like almost any of the bosses. Randomly in the matches, it can crash, and even if you complete the level, there's a good chance that the entire party you're with, it can just like, the game can just like freeze up, and there can be a problem that occurs, and no one gets the rewards. That is still very much a problem that is still being faced with the Banana Kong, and they haven't really fixed it, even with the 2 maintenance they've already done. So I'm hoping with future updates, they'll be able to fix the problems that I'm mainly facing, which again I'm saying is screen freezing, problems occurring after completing the raid, and constant crashing in between the games. Because it really sucks, and I don't want to go back and do all those raids again, while I can just simply do them and get on with it without the game just crashing. That's what I want, and I know a lot of other people I know just really want that too. So, what are my overall thoughts on this? Honestly, I can't be too mad. The game has only been out since the late bit of last month, and it still has a long way to go. And I know that the devs are probably working very hard to make sure that all the bugs and everything is taken care of. So all we can really do is just wait and just pick out all the bugs we can find and glitches we can find, and just send it over to the devs and make sure that they know what is wrong with the game. And I know I left out story mode and the Ascension Night Mines and all that stuff, but honestly, everything I kind of covered happens at the same with those 2 areas too. Same for Tower Rift. It can happen anywhere, the 3 things I mentioned in my part. I'd like to say thank you to Vulpin for letting me do a part in this video and letting me talk about the bugs and glitches in this game. It was really fun doing this because I don't really get to do videos like this very much as I lose motivation a lot. But thank you, Vulpin, for having me on here.
Before I move on to the next section, there was something else I want to mention, and that is the crashes, because it happens a lot. However, something I've noticed among the community is that it's much more tolerable than Kingdom's crashes. And I think it's because of how forgiving the game actually is. This game kinda goes like this. Oh, your game crashed right before you get those sweet succulent rewards? Here you go, have your raid ticket back, and try again. Oh, your game froze while you're playing story mode? Here, have your jelly hearts again, and you can try again. It's kinda crazy, especially given what Kingdom players have to deal with. Oh, your game crashed while you were playing your guild battles? Tough luck! It's kinda crazy, I'm not going to lie. Also, one other thing I need to mention, even when you're in a raid battle and you disconnect, especially at the beginning, you're able to re-enter the raid battle if you're quick enough. So yeah, I guess you can get those sweet succulent rewards, even if you crash. Anyways, how about we talk about the cookies, because let's be real here, we all want to talk about the cookies, especially him. Ah yes, Twisted Donut. He's still a silly belly and still has a petrifying stare. There's not much to say that I haven't said in my previous video, but I still love him, especially his characterization in the story. He seems to be the most mature and level-headed one of them all, while still loving trains very dearly. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. When we first unlock the gacha, the first cookie we ever pull is Twisted Donut, which is something I had a feeling might happen, especially with the change of playing 3 cookies in story mode instead of 2. I didn't say this in my previous video because it got cut. In fact, a lot of scenes and parts in that video got cut because of time constraints and also my storage couldn't handle it. But I'm glad I'm able to bring it up here. Anyways, let's move on to the next cookie. Oh my god, words can't describe how much I love Crush Pepper. I really do adore him, and he's really fun to play with. And also, it makes me sad knowing that I never got to play him much in the beta. But I'm glad I'm able to play him during launch. Playing with Crush Pepper is so much fun. Again, bro's just there for a good time. His skill is nice, and his ultimate is the cherry on top. Also, one other thing I should mention, don't ignore his charge attack. Literally, it's so good if you know how to use it in the right times. Honestly, any Crush Pepper we see, we basically wish the best for them. If you see a Crush Pepper player, chances are they're a green flag. Kinda like Rockstar players. Oh yeah, one thing that really did surprise me is that he's a support? Huh? I honestly thought he would be an attacker, but I guess not. He really be like Rockstar. He's supporting his homies, and it makes me all warm and fuzzy. I kinda like this, and in case you're wondering, his main specialty in support is defense. When he uses ultimate, he puts a fiery shield around him and any other players. This shield will hurt enemies or boxes on contact. Another thing I want to mention about Crush Pepper is that he is so tanky. If you know how to build him right, he can have a lot of HP. I want to share a story about how tanky he could be. However, we'll wait once we get to another cookie that I'll mention later. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Where is he? Where is Lemon Zest? Where the fuck is my beloved? You better give me answers now, Dev Sisters! All jokes aside, I actually have the reason why Lemon Zest wasn't in the game at launch. And honestly, the answer is so satisfying that honestly, I don't mind him not being in the game at launch. And this is coming from someone who really adores Lemon Zest. I mean, have you seen my previous video? I go absolutely ballistic for this man. Okay, enough beating around the bush. The reason why Lemon Zest wasn't released at launch is because he plays an important part in the story. We don't know which story, however, I'm assuming it's the main story. This makes me very excited because we get to have more Lemon Zest lore. There's a lot of stuff I want to know more about him, like the Citrus Order and his older brother. Mainly his older brother. Like, I'm curious to know who that man is. And also Lemon Zest's character. I can't wait to see him in action. And also, during one of the Toa live streams, I was able to ask Micmac a question and, well, I'll let it speak for itself.
A random fact about Lemon Zest? A random fact? I don't know, I have nothing that comes to mind right now, but a little bit of a spoiler, we are also preparing like really cool cinematic videos. So these will be like visible in the story mode, basically. So sometimes when you clear like stages or chapters and stuff, you'll see like more like cinematics. I saw one cinematic, like there will be actually one cinematic, like a short one, when you start the new chapter, like the next chapter, it will open with a cinematic. And there will also be another cinematic that we are preparing right now, and it looks amazing. So yeah, you can be on the lookout for it.
I am glad I asked that question. I wasn't expecting spoilers. I was thinking I was gonna get a simple answer like him knowing how to whistle, because yes, he does canonically know how to whistle. And as you saw, he wasn't able to give an answer, but he did provide a different one that made me so happy. Honestly, I'm very happy that Lemon Zest wasn't at launch, although there was one problem with this. Like I mentioned in my previous video, he was my main. He was the cookie I felt most comfortable playing with, and seeing how he was unavailable during launch, I knew I had to pick a new main, and fast. So the question remains, who did I main? I am both surprised and not surprised it's Cream Soda Cookie. I knew I was going to main as her mainly because I love her, however I never expect to be so good with her. She is such a blast to play with. She has pretty good range, her skill is really nice, and her ultimate is really good. And of course, how can I talk about her trump card? I am talking about the wave of water she's able to create when you made enough combos. I didn't know how to do it at first, however once I figured out how to create the stacks, she became much more easier to use. There are a lot of people who struggle to achieve this wave of water, so here's how you do it. Skill, base attack. Skill, base attack. Skill, base attack. Ultimate, base attack. Bam, rush of water. I hope this little tutorial could help. One other thing I want to mention is that I got Cream Soda really early in the game. 3 times in a row. It just so happens that she was the banner cookie for the game's launch, and honestly that makes me really happy. And how could I forget her little story? And the surprising part is there's no requirements to beat it. You just literally watch the story, get rewards, and occasionally play the cookie, which is really fun. And you don't need to have the cookie to play it, so it's like a little mini cookie trial. I also like the characterization for Cream Soda. She's very responsible and independent and pretty strong, but she does have her flaws. Despite her being good at combat, when it comes to challenges in the real world outside the academy, she struggles with that. I also like her banter with Chili, that's also pretty fun, and in general, she's such a sweet cookie and I love her so much. Oh yeah, I want to clear up some misinformation being spread about Cream Soda, and I'll say this here. Cream Soda Cookie is a young adult, not a minor. How do I know this? Literally the student council itself. The student council as a concept is more of a college thing rather than a high school thing. And even if there is a student council at a high school, the activities are mostly in the school and never outside of it. What do we see Cream Soda doing in the beginning of her story? Asking permission to be outside of the academy. By herself. With literally no adult supervision. There is more to it, but I'm not going to go into detail here. Maybe one day I'll make a small video about that. Also, one more thing I should mention are the little stamps. I really like them. Especially Cream Soda's. How embarrassing. It's something that I like to use often and it's pretty fun. The dark choco is trying to fit in. I guess that's all the stuff I want to talk about Cream Soda. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I was fucking right! I was pretty spot on about her character, holy shit! In case you're wondering what I'm talking about, here's the clip.
Although there's not much I can say about her, I wouldn't be surprised if Chamomile's like the therapist friend. You know, the one who's willing to give you some tea, listen to your struggles, talk to you about your problems. You know, that kind of character. Honestly, I can see Chamomile doing that.
I was right. Oh my god, she is a literal therapist and that makes me so happy. I really love Chamomile. She is so fun to play with. Every player who pre-registered got Chamomile for free. She's a pretty good support assist cookie and I love her so much. Also, if you turn her around, you can literally see her dress having little teacup handles. Oh my god, I didn't notice this at first, but now this makes me even more happy. Oh yeah, remember that story I mentioned when we were at Crushed Pepper section? Here it is. I was playing with my friend Zeldos, helping them progress the tower. We were at floor 3 and we finally reached the boss, and we were about to face Cactor. However, during the fight, Zeldos' game crashed, and during that time, Zeldos was playing as Chamomile, and Cactor was about to charge off his Gatling gun, and I was like, oh shit! So I immediately switched to Crushed Pepper and stand right in front of Chamomile, taking the hits. Like I mentioned before, Crushed Pepper is a tank. He's meant to tank the hits. Thankfully, Zeldos was able to get back into the game and we finished the fight. So yeah, that's pretty epic. But that moment left such a strong impact on me. Heck, I even drew the situation that played out. And I'm not going to lie, I love the idea of Crushed Pepper and Chamomile being paired up. Not in the shipping way, rather as a duo. Although I do kind of ship them, I'm not going to lie. I don't know, something about pairing Crush Pepper, who is usually strong yet has a heart of gold, with Chamomile, who's more calm and collective, is, I don't know, it just gets my brain going and it makes me happy. Honestly, I kinda wish Chamomile had her own little cookie story. The same thing goes with Crush Pepper. Maybe next time. Now let's move on to the next cookie. In my last video, I said I did not know how to feel about Plantin Cookie. So now that we actually get to see the full story of the Banana Jungle and the Banana Ruins, what are my thoughts on him? I am not going to lie, I actually really like him. I was honestly kind of worried that he was going to be controversial. I mean, he was already on thin ice. But thankfully, Dev Sisters wrote him like an actual character. He cares about his family. We get to see him upset when things have changed. He's very sensible and asks questions before jumping to conclusions. He actually progresses the plot in some unique way. All these things about him made me really like his character. And I'm glad Dev Sisters did not fuck him up in some way. There's not much I can say about Plantin Cookie, I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't help that I haven't unlocked him yet. I don't know what it's like to play as him, but I did heard from a friend that he's actually really good if you know how to use him, especially with his ultimate being able to bring enemies into one space. I feel like if you pair him up with Cream Soda, they'll be a deadly duo. Oh yeah, I just got reminded of something. Plantin Cookie is the reason why I got the Toa Pass. Yeah, I'm not even joking. My friend Suffix hit me up and saying, if you give me Plantin art, I give you Toa Pass. I did set up my PayPal account recently, so I have no regrets. Anyways, let's move on to the last cookie. Oh, Sting Durian, you're still a cheeky bastard. I'm going to be real here, I do not know what to say about Sting Durian. Honestly, I just don't really have any strong feelings about him. He just exists. I think it's because I wasn't able to develop any emotional attachment to him, unlike the other Toa cookies. Anyways, he's not hard to use in battle if you know what you're doing. When you're using Sting Durian Cookie, you want to make sure you attack the enemies enough to get this gold rim. When you see this gold rim, that's your sign to use your skill or ultimate for a deadly attack. I hope that helps. Honestly, let's just move on to the next part. There were a lot of changes from the beta, so here's a list of some things I've noticed. Rye Cookie is now a wind element instead of a fire element. There is now a level up system, kinda like the ones in Kingdom and Evanbreak. There is a mileage shop, although the bad news is there's no cookie soul stones in there. Fuck. I mean, it's not like I got any mileage. The workshop. We're able to craft our equipment and also our cards. A bunch of the armor that was in the beta did not make it in the final game. There are 2 classes per each cookie. That's all the changes I have noticed from the beta. However, there are still a lot of things that I want to see improved or changed. So here we go. One thing I would like to see is, well, a better way to get crystals, because let's be real here, these things are hard to get, even with the Toa Pass. Another thing I want changed, and this is by far my biggest complaint, is the Tower Raid rewards. In my previous video, I said this. Now, I'm gonna save it for later. Thankfully, this feature will change, and players are incentivized to do their best to receive better rewards. However, the reward system is still the same as the beta. What's worse is that they said they were gonna fix it during a live stream. And I'm not going to lie, it's the worst thing ever. Putting in so much effort just to get nothing good is awful. I remember playing Raid with my friends and I got absolutely nothing. Literally nothing of use. Not even an epic item. While my friends got far more better rewards. And I'm going to be honest, that made me really upset. I felt like I was doing something wrong. But I wasn't! This is all just chance! Although, funny enough, later down that day, I got my first unique item, which was Rockstar's guitar. I did hear that they're going to implement a system to better balance this out, so I really do hope this will better improve the reward system because trust me, it is not fun getting absolutely nothing despite your effort. I don't think there's any other changes I would like, and it seems like everything else is fine, and I don't think there's anything else to worry about, so I guess we're going to be moving. I have to talk about the controversial stuff in the game, don't I? I am not black nor Native American, so it's not my place to speak upon this. However, I do want to bring attention to this in hopes something is done about it. The 2 controversies in the game is the character of Shamonkey and the Native American Inspire equipment. I'll start with Shamonkey. So Shamonkey is clearly obviously a monkey. But another thing you must know is that when you read the bio card for Shamonkey is that apparently Shamonkey practices voodoo. Do you see the problem?
I think I can take it from here. Hello everyone, for those who don't know me, I am MoonrabbitSfather. Volpin asked for me to give more insight on the voodoo topic because I have researched it a bunch and I myself am black. The main reason the voodoo is an issue is because it is a closed religion. While the game itself isn't showing it in a bad light, Dev Sisters got zero permission. If we combine that with the fact that the character that is using its name is Shamonkey, then we are looking at a pretty bad combo. Voodoo has been shown in a bad light for many years with characters like Dr. Felicier and Alistair. I don't think Dev Sisters is trying to show it in a bad light. They still got zero permission, and this is not okay. I'm going to hand the mic back to Vulpin so she can talk about the other half of this.
And honestly, fixing it is probably the most easiest thing the game could ever do. It's literally just replacing the word voodoo with magic. I am not sure if this is going to get rid of all the problems with Shamonkey, but it is definitely better. Another problem I heard is Shamonkey's name itself. I am not properly informed on why it's problematic, so I think it's best if I just leave it off here, and if anyone knows why it's problematic, please do inform me and leave it in the comments below. Now for the second controversy, the Native American Aspire equipment. The reason why this is a problem is that Native American clothing cannot be worn just by anyone. Seeing that this outfit is meant to buff up your cookies and can be worn by anyone, yeah, that's the problem. I am not sure what can fix this. However, I do think either it can be removed entirely or be replaced with something else. I actually got some leaks for some of the equipment items in the game, and one of them would have been a far better replacement than what we got. That's all I'm gonna say about this subject for now. If I do say something incorrect, please do inform me in the comments, and I do apologize for that. Now let's move on to my closing thoughts. I really do love Tower of Adventures. It's genuinely my favorite cookie run game at the moment. However, there is still a lot of problems with the game that needs to be fixed. This game has a lot of potential, and I do believe it can be one of the best cookie run games of all time. Even better than Kingdom. Honestly, I'm kinda fed up with Kingdom. So, as a community, all we can do is sit back and see what Dev Sisters have to offer. And let's not forget to provide feedback. It is important for our voices to be heard in hopes that things can change. This video may be a little rushed due to the fact that, well, I'm trying to get this out before the next update. Regardless, I did hope you enjoyed the video. Also, I must thank my friends Zeldos, Suffix, and MoonrabbitSfather for helping me with this video. If it weren't for them, then I probably wouldn't have got this video done in time. And if you managed to reach this far into it, then again, thank you so much. Until we meet again, see you next time.